oil pan from the car, we're going to start by jacking it up and putting it on jack stands. We'll then drain the oil, remove the front passenger tire. You're going to need one of these engine support bars. You can get it from Harbor Freight for about $79. Removal of the oil pan starts with the removal of the oil cooler here. It's 4 Torx 40 bolts. I have mine loosened up already. I'll show you the process simply. When you take this out, you're going to want to drain the oil. Come out of 2 channels. We'll be changing those O-rings afterwards. We're going to want to hold the oil cooler back. I usually use that couple bungee cords here. Hold it back away from the pan. When removing the oil pan, you're going to want to first start by removing that front engine mount, because that will be in your way, and then you're going to want to lift the engine slightly, about 1 inch on the passenger side. This is to get 1 bolt off. And you're going to want to use a 1/4 inch extension on a swivel head, and you could get up in there and back that off easily without any obstruction. On this side, we have 4 bolts, 4 long bolts that connect to the transmission. And on the opposite side, we have 4 medium bolts that connect to the passenger side of the engine. Once we have all the bolts off, the pan will come down. You might need to use a rubber mallet to loosen it up. We'll get that out of the way and get it cleaned up. I'm also going to remove my pickup tube because this thing's pretty clogged. I do have a new one I'm going to replace it with. And we'll also be replacing all of the oil pickup O-rings as well. Next, you're going to want to clean up your oil pan, and we're going to remove this 10mm bolt down here that connects the oil cooler to the oil filter, and we're going to replace those O-rings inside there. We got 1 O-ring here, and then 1 in here that you're going to have to pull out. We'll go ahead and replace those. And just like your oil filter O-ring, you're going to want to lube those up with a little bit of oil before you put them in so they stay nice and swelled up. I just have a cap of standard oil here. Doesn't really matter. We'll replace that bolt, and we should be good to move on to the O-rings on the other side of the engine. Here we're going to reinstall the oil pickup tube. It's just held in by these 2 10mm bolts. To help these O-rings stick on the block so that they don't get scrunched up, I'm going to use some of this Vaseline and just spread it around here on the O-rings. Did it to all 3 of these. Then we're going to remove these 2 O-rings here. A little crispy. There we go. You're going to want to dry those areas where the O-ring sits so that the Vaseline has something dry to stick onto. I'll grab the new one, and that's maybe the size lower. We'll grab the new one and get into place. We want to make sure both mating surfaces are clean and ready for reinstallation. I have a stud there in that corner to help with guiding it into place, and a stud here in this corner to help with guiding it into place. So now that we have the bead around, we're just going to use the roller and get that spread out nice and evenly along the surface there. That's that. Pulled back as far as I can, and I'm gonna get ready to put this thing up here. Get them lined up with the studs that we have in place. Go. I'm just going to put a couple of these shorter bolts in the back of the oil pan here and crank those down. All right, that should hold it into place. I'll put up the bolt pattern on there with how many foot-pounds, and it should be decent enough.